Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Bill. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just messing around in the shop. I'm doing a little project for my family. It's going to be a barn, as you can see, and I'm just kind of messing around right now on the laser. It's doing the roof part of it, so I'm just messing around with that. I figured I haven't made a video in a little bit, and I was going over, creating this file. I'm going to show you where I got the file from, how I got it, and kind of go over that for you. But like I said, just messing around today, so I figured I'd bring you all in. Let's have a little fun. I'm also going to go over another feature in LightBurn. It's called print and cut, and that's going to be for like if you're doing jigs or stuff like that, or if you got like longer jobs you're doing and you need to, you only have 16 by 16, but it's twice that size, so you can do your 16 by 16 and then slide your wood through it if it has a pass through, and then you can go ahead and you can do your other part of the sign to get it fixed. That's what it's kind of geared for. But what I use it for, or what I kind of started doing, is making jigs. And when you got an open gantry and your honeycomb moves around, you don't have any way to fix that stuff to your laser, you gotta find a way to be able to make a jig. And a jig is a much easier way to do multiple stuff on it, but it's real hard when you got an open gantry and there's no way to have a fixed honeycomb with it. So today I'm going to go over a little bit of that print and cut, but I'm also going to show you a little bit of the laser doing this thing over here, and just kind of having fun today. So something you want to see, stick around. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to show you the laser real quick. It's doing its process on the roof. Like I said, it's engraving the roof. I still have to do the white accent trim to it, so that's what I showed you is what it's doing right now. Get a little bit of light on it so you can see it's got the panels up on there. What I did with the wood is it's 300 by 300 millimeter plywood, and it's 3 millimeter thick. So that's what I'm making the barn out of. What I did first was I just pre-painted all my wood first. I got my panels I think it was 2 panels I had to have for the red, 2 panels for the green, and then 1 panel for the white. The green is for the roof, the red of course is the barn, and the white's going to be all the accent trim pieces around it. That's the paint that I used. That's the green one. I had white and red also, and I just went ahead and I just pre-painted the wood first, so I didn't have to worry about trying to hand paint it where your lines are going for your barn. I didn't want to have to try to hand paint so that black was still there. So to me it was just easier to just paint the whole wood, put it on a laser machine, have it do its thing, cut it out. Much easier. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. And also, like I said, we're going to go over that print and cut. But let's jump on the internet real quick, because this is where I got my file from. It's Hobo with Wood. If you're not familiar with Hobo with Wood, I'm sure most of you are. He is a really good designer. He does a lot of good things. I could have made this barn myself. It would have just took a whole lot longer than just going on his website and clicking on it. But you go to Hobo with Wood, you type in Hobo with Wood, and then you're going to click on this right here. Now my internet is spotty out here, so I have all this all ahead for you, just because I'm going to keep losing my internet. But once you're on his web page, all you're going to do is you're just going to click in here, barn. Okay? Once you click search, it's going to bring up what he's created for you. He does sell all of this. All as I wanted was just a barn, and I think I paid $12.99 for it. But he has all this for sale: the windmill, the silo, the truck, the barn. I think that whole package is $29, but I paid like $12.99 just for the barn. To me, it was just so much easier to just buy his pattern, download it, and go with it. So that's where I got that's where I got this barn from. Like I said, it is Hobo with Wood. Check out my wood is what you're looking for. Just type Hobo with Wood in the bar, and then just click on that Hobo with Wood. Check out my wood, And like I said, it's going to bring it right to that web page there. And he's got a whole pile of stuff in here that you can look at and you can buy. This stuff is fairly cheap. This is a new one he's working on. That's a really, really nice one. I'll probably end up buying this one as well. But he has a whole pile of stuff that you can download digital files from him. So, let's go into LightBurn real quick. And the one I'm looking at is here. This is the file that I brought in. It's got everything that you need. The only things that it has different that I took out of it was, let me go back over here. And I got rid of this. This is what he was calling a quilt. So I didn't want that on the side of it, so I just deleted that out of it. And everything else that you see in that picture is what I will have, except for that quilt on both sides. It was not anything I wanted on it. So you get the file, you put it in, you do your thing. It's so much easier. It's LightBurn friendly. He had it all worked up for you, so it's all good to go for LightBurn. And all you do is put it in, you nest it however you want to nest them, and it's good to go. But today I also want to talk about that print and cut, like I was talking to you about. Print and cut is going to look right up here in this corner here. If you click on it without touch, if you hover over it without clicking on it, you'll see it says Show Print and Cut. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to make jigs to where you don't have to have it fixed on your honeycomb bed to your machine. You can have it anywhere you want on this whole entire thing, and no matter where you have it, it's going to know where it is, and as long as you put it on your honeycomb, and then you go ahead and you frame it, it knows it's going to be exactly where it is, because you're going to use these little bullseyes to be able to line up your wood to have it for the print and cut feature to work. You need to have these right here in order for it to work. So I'm going to show you how we set it up. This is just a small jig. It's only 300 millimeters wide by 178 millimeters high, because it's just a piece I have left over from the last part of that roof. And I'm going to show you how I set all this up. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. And you're going to start with a box. And you're going to make it, let's put that on the red layer. And you're going to make that 300 and it's going to be by 7 inches. So I'm just going to put the 7 and then shift and the comma key, and that's going to convert it to inches. So now I know that's going to be 300 millimeters wide by 177.8 millimeters high. Now, you're going to start out by getting one of your dog bones. That, for me, is going to be in the dog tag. I'm going to click and bring this out. All I need for right now is just the outer red cut. So I'm going to highlight that, bring it over here, and I'm just going to drag over all this and delete it. And I'm going to bring that down here to the bottom. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a grid array. And I'm going to see how many I can fit across and how many I can fit up high. So I'm just going to keep hitting the X column, and 6 across is going to be what I'm going to be able to fit on it. And then if I go up, you could fit more, but I want to have all this writing up here and all this information so I know what each jig is, so I know what I'm looking at. So I started out with a 300 by 300. That's why you see 36 slots. It is not 36 anymore, so I will change that. But all you're going to do is, once you get your amount that you want, click OK. Now it already automatically grouped everything. Now I want to make sure that it is centered on that 300 by 177 millimeter. So we're just going to click this button right here, and it's going to actually move it and shift it right into the middle. I don't want it all the way onto the bottom, so I'm going to click off of it, click those because they are still grouped. I'm just going to go up roughly right about there because I want to be able to put my circles and my bullseyes in the corner. I want to have enough room for that. So let's go ahead and create our circle. Holding shift is going to make that into a perfect circle, and we'll make it about we can go a little bit smaller than that. We'll make it about maybe 10-ish. Let me go backspace, holding shift. We're going to make it 10. Let's just go ahead and just click that and go 10, tab, 10, and that's going to make that perfect 10mm circle. Put that in the corner here, and then we're going to get our pencil tool down below, click over it, hold the shift to make sure it goes straight up and down, click it, now come off of it, and then hit the right mouse key. Let's do the same over here on this side. Click it, come across, left click it, go up, and then right click it to get rid of that. Now let's go ahead and select. Let's group those. No, let's not group those yet. Let's make sure they are centered. Alright, now they are centered to each other. Now we can go ahead and group that, click this, outer circle, and we're going to group that in the middle. Now we know that's perfectly in the middle of that circle. Now, what I did on this one over here, if you zoom in real tight, I put a little dot, and that dot is going to represent your laser focal point of the laser of your laser machine. So mine says it's 0.08. I think I actually made it 0.1. I just made it a little bit bigger than that, just so that I know when I jog it across and it gets into that circle, I know I have it. I don't want it too big because then I got to try to fit my laser into that. So I don't want to have that. I want to have it right about what your size of your laser beam is. And mine is 0.1 worked absolutely perfect for it. 0.08 I think is what they are. Mine is I just made it 0.1. So we're going to draw another circle. You could actually click the outer one and duplicate that. Now we know that is perfect, so let's go ahead and lock the lock and click it and make it 1. That's going to change both of those. It's going to make that perfect into that. Now let's go ahead and click the crosshair. Nope, let's click the circle first because that's what's going to move. Then you click the crosshair. First one you click moves, the second one stays. We're going to center that in the middle. Now I also went ahead and I made another one just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that, holding control, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Just so I know when I'm getting close, I'm inside the circle, I know I'm getting really close when I'm jogging the machine to my actual spot size of my laser. Alright, now I didn't want to have these crosshairs in here. Out here would be fine. As you can see, let me move this one down so I'm not looking so hard to find it. You see I have the crosshairs in here, but I don't have the crosshairs in here. You can see they're right on the edge. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and get rid of them inside this circle. We're going to get the scissor tool, and we're just going to go ahead and cut. In a second, we have to ungroup them. You can't use scissor tools on a grouped object, so let's go ahead and hit the scissor tool now. Let's get rid of that one, that one, that one, and now they're all gone. So it's okay to have them out here, I just don't want to have them in there. Now, I'm going to make this one, I want to actually fill it. I don't want it to line, have it on a line. So I'm going to change that to black. I want that to fill it, and I want all the rest to be just lines, so I'm going to change the rest of them, because red's usually my cut layer. So I'm going to change the rest of them to the blue. Now I don't want those lines outside of here either, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to scissor those off too. Alright, now you have your bullseye. Just want to make sure that that center black is actually, yes, 0.1, not 1.1. Now, let's put my anchor point back in the middle. Let's click this circle, and let's put that into the middle. That is, okay, I thought it looked a little bigger before. That is actually the spot size of my laser. So if you look at it, it is 0.1, not 1.0, not 1 millimeter, it's 0.1. So that looks much better. Now I can take these, since I did mess that up, and I can just draw them and bring them inside the circle. Let's just drag all those inside. Now we can go back in here with a scissor tool, and now let's go ahead and get rid of all the ones that are in the inside. Alright, that looks perfect. Now when you're jogging your machine and your laser hits and you see it inside of all that, you know you're centered as good as you can get. Because if you look at a dog tag, these things are so small that it's hard. If you're off a little bit, you are going to notice that. If your paw prints are down lower because you didn't get that centered properly, you are definitely going to notice that. So you want to make sure that you do have that as centered as what you can get with it. So by making it about the dot size of your laser, then you know you're going to be where you want to have it. So that's going to keep it as accurate on your dog tag or a pen. You don't have much room for your pen, so you want to make sure you do have those as close to perfect as what you can. And by having your dot size, the 0.1, then you know if that when you jog in, you see your laser is inside that, you know you're as close as you're going to be able to get to it. All right, back to LightBurn. I don't know why this one here keeps moving. Let's go ahead and center that back up. And all right, that's good there. Get the scissors and trim that off. I don't know why that was moving on, man. I must have hit something. But there's your circle. There's your bullseye, and you're going to be able to put that in this corner. Now we're going to go ahead and hit Control Duplicate, and we want to bring that to the farthest end that you can get. The farther apart you have them, the more accurate the print and cut feature is going to work. So we're going to put that right about there. Now we're going to put our text in here. Let's hit our little A and put pet dog tag, so you know that's what it is you're working with, and it's a jig. Not that you can't tell by looking at it, but it looks good. So you put that in there. And you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 pet tags. So we're going to hit enter, 18 slots. You name it whatever you want. Alright. Those are grouped. Now we're going to go ahead and select the outer one, and we're going to center that. Wrong button. we're going to center that into the middle. Now, you can add this in there if you want. I'm not going to put it in here because it doesn't matter how big that is. But you could add your 300 millimeters by 177.8 millimeter. You can add it in there if you want. You can always put numbers in here if you want. 1, 2, 3. You can have whatever you want. It's extra that does not need to be done. So that's going to be it. That's setting up your own jig for an open gantry. Honeycomb that is not fixed. Your laser bed can move around. Your honeycomb can move around. This is the easiest way that you're going to be able to set it up, by using the print and cut feature right here. That's going to allow you to, every time, put that jig on the honeycomb, and then when you go through the print and cut and you jog it to this point, set it, jog it to this point, set it, then you know exactly 100% that is going to be perfect in that. So in a second, once this is done up here, I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to cut this jig out, and I'm going to come back in and show you of doing it on the laser machine. So we'll be back in just a minute. There's the one I did, and then there's the other one I did. There's the front. I'll drop that one out of the way. And there's the back. You cannot ask for anything more perfect than that. And like I said, and I say it over and over again, because this is the important part. Once you lock these coordinates in with the print and cut, you cannot move your laser head, or your honeycomb, and you have to make sure that your jig is fastened, whether you use tape, magnets, whatever it is you use for your honeycomb. You have to make sure that it is fastened and it does not move. Because once you move it, it's not a big deal. It just means you have to go back to that print and cut, reset. Let me show you. If you did happen to move it, all you have to do, if you moved your honeycomb or you bumped your laser rails and it moved that little bit, you're not going to be able to get that back to where it was. You're not going to. So all you have to do is come up here to the print and cut. You're already set. You don't have to worry about, because you didn't bump anything, so you're set every time you do it. You saw me do it 2 different times. But if you did bump it, you did move it on accident. Now your laser head, if you move your laser head by hand, that's no big deal. Rehome it, and you're good to go. But if you bump your honeycomb, or your jig, or your bed of your laser, yes, you have to do this. Come in here, and click Reset Print Cut. Now it just got rid of all the corners that you had, or all the circles. They are gone. You have to start back over. You have to come up here, hit the Move tab, get your... well, I know I didn't move any of this stuff, so let's go ahead and hit this. Did I home it? No, let me go ahead and home it quick. Laser home. Now I already have my Move tab already selected. Click on it here. It's going to move it to that location. I know it is. I don't have to look. I know it is. Now I'm going to select the circle. I didn't want to move it. Come back in here, hit the center. Come off there, hit the selector tool, select your circle. Even though you have it where nothing can move, right? You have it because you got your crosshairs. You have that locked selected shapes. You still can do this. It's not a big deal. You see it's got the 4 corners around your circle. Come up here and hit your print and cut, and then you go ahead and you set number 1. And it just set it. Now you hit jog. Now my little circle down here moved on me for whatever reason, so what I'm going to try to do, let me click this, right click, unlock selected shape. I want to move that back into this middle, and I had it and I lost it. Right there. Now it's already highlighted, right click, lock selected shape. Everything now should all be locked. As you can see, everything has the crosshairs around the whole entire thing. Now, I also locked this shape in there, which I did not want to do. Oh no, I didn't, because I didn't select all of them, that's right. So I can come in here, hit my jog, my move tab, click it, it's going to bring it to that bottom right corner. I know it is, because I did not move my laser. And I'm going to come up here to my print and cut, number 2, and I'm going to set that as right there. And then set it. Oh, I didn't click it. Okay, click it, now set it. It turned it blue, and do scale, and you're good to go. So, you have both of yours in here. You see them by the greens, so you know everything is back to where it needs to be. Just go ahead and drop your whatever your jig is, drop all your pet tags in here, put them all in there, start, and you're good to go. So, well, I hope you got something out of this. It's an awesome feature in LightBurn. I think it's more for if you have a smaller laser and you got like a long board, like a welcome sign you're doing, and you want to do this part that fits in your laser. Then once it does that, then you create your circles and you move your wood through there, and then you go ahead and you do your, like I showed you, the move tab, get them in there, and then go ahead and lock, get it in place, and then you can do that next. That's what it's designed for. But the other great thing is it's also designed for this, repeatability on a laser machine that moves, a honeycomb that moves. That's what I use it for. But I hope you got something out of this. If you did, drop me some likes. Please subscribe to my channel. And I enjoyed y'all. Throw me a comment. Hit me a couple 1, 2, or 3 if you learned something new today. Drop a 1 if you learned one thing. Drop 2 if you learned 2 things. It helps me out. It lets me know. So I appreciate y'all. Stay safe. Till the next video. I'm out. Alright guys, I went ahead and I did the jig. I changed up a little bit. I didn't need all those extra ones, so I just modified the one I showed you a minute ago to look like this. I'm going to set this on the honeycomb, and you're going to see how I go about using the print and cut to be able to use that for this to get it to cut perfect inside here in each one of these. So we're going to jump over the other screen real quick. I'm going to show you putting it on there, and we'll start with that. All right, so let's go ahead and switch. Here we go. Alright, so you can see I got my laser on. I'm just going to turn that off for a minute because that is a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn that off. But you can see honeycomb is moving, it's not fixed, and my laser moves, it's not fixed. So how do I get this to line up to be able to drop my pieces inside here and get it to cut out perfectly or engrave perfectly in there? It's easy. Your Bullseyes, like I was telling you before. Your Bullseyes is what's going to let LightBurn know where this material is. You can be a little bit off, and it's still going to do it perfect in there, but you want to make sure that you are as close to level and as what you can be. That looks eyeball close enough to me, and we're going to jump over to the other computer, and I want to show you some of the things in LightBurn that you got to do to get those things to work. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over. Alright, so in LightBurn, what you're looking at is the print and cut feature, which is right here. That's going to be your print and cut. So here's my jig I brought in. All it is, I went to my jig, double clicked on it, brought it in. Now I have just two generic ones here. This is going to be the front, that's going to be the back. And I'm going to drop it into this part right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. It is all grouped together. I get a control, select that dog tag, and I can come up here and I can go ahead and bullseye it in. So now we know that is right in the middle of it. And after we do this, then we're going to go ahead and take that off it and then put this one in place of it. If you had multiple ones, if you had 12 different ones, you can do 12 different ones. If somebody wanted 2, you can put 2 in here, and you can do 2 of them together. It's whatever it is you need. But like I was telling you, the secret is the bullseyes. You got one in that top corner, and you got one in this top corner. You want them as far apart as what you can get them. That's going to make it as accurate as what it possibly can be. So I'm going to jump into the Move tab, which is right here. Now, when you see fire and unfire, that's going to be your fire button right here. I have it set to 1.25%. That's not a whole lot. That's not going to do any damage to it. It's not going to engrave it or anything. And this is going to be your fire button that I was talking about. You click it, it turns red. That means you know your laser is firing. You unclick it, and it's off. Now, you click it, you don't get a whole lot of time with it. I don't know if there's a setting somewhere. I never really looked at it, but you might have to re-click it off again and click it back on to get it, because it might go off after a couple seconds. But this is what I'm talking about when I say fire. And I think that's going to be it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on the machine, and we're going to jog the laser to this spot right here. Then you're going to set your coordinates, which are print and cut, and then it's going to ask you for the second one, and we're going to move it to this one here, and then that's going to be our second one. And we'll go ahead and set that for the second one, and then you're ready to go. But you got this little button right here. I call it the Move tab. If you click on it, wherever you click on your work plane, that's where your laser is going to move to. So it knows it's on 001 at homes to the bottom left corner. When you click that button anywhere on this screen, it's going to move it to that area. So that's where I'm going to move it to. When I do it, I'm going to click right here in the middle. I'm going to click on it, highlight it red, then come right in here, get the bullseye, and then I'm going to go ahead and click it, and the laser is going to move to that area. Then I'm going to use my hands on the honeycomb, and I'm going to move the honeycomb to get it to where it lines up on that fire when you do the fire button right here. And then what I'll do is I'll click this again, and I'll come zoom in here, and I'll click it right there. Now it should be close, but it's not going to be right on because I don't have mine exactly level across. So that's why we'll just have to readjust it again on this side manually with my hands on honeycomb just to get that to line up. Then I will go ahead and re-click it over here again just to make sure that they are both good. Once that is the case, and you got it as close to that bullseye right here, which is 0.1 millimeters circle, you know you're not going to be off by very much if you can get it inside that area. And then also the same with down in that corner there. So I'm gonna go ahead, and when I say I'm gonna use the Move tab, it's going to be this. If I say I'm going to do the fire button, it's going to be this. Okay? And then we'll be able to come back and we'll be able to click this. And it's going to ask us to press set on, once we get it lined perfectly, we're going to select this one here. And then we're going to go ahead and hit set. Now, it's not going to do it right this second because I do not have the laser machine on, but we'll be able to set that position. That'll turn, I believe it's either red or blue. I think it's red first and then blue down in the bottom right corner. But we'll go over that here in a second. So that'll be your print and cut feature when I talk about that. That'll be your fire tab, and that's going to be your Move tab. Okay, so I'm going to jump in the other camera, and we're going to go ahead and get that lined up so you can see it. So my machine is homing right now, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click the Move tab, zoom in here, and then I'm going to get that bullseye, click on it, and then you'll see that laser machine move to that position. I'm going to switch cameras so you can watch it, but you'll know that's what I'm clicking when I do that. All right, so let's go ahead and switch. Make sure you're on the right camera, and you are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click that bullseye in that middle of that circle. And it should be moving right now. Now I can see I'm nowhere near it. So I'm going to have to manually move my honeycomb to get it inside that bullseye. Now I just lost my blue light. So I'm going to come back over here. Remember I said the Move tab? I'm going to hit fire again. And you'll see it light back up. And I'm thinking that looks pretty close right there. So, let's swap cameras. And what we're going to do is we're going to click the print and cut. We're going to click this circle. And we're going to go ahead and hit set. 1 is right here. So that's your first position. You're going to set 1. And it turned it red. Now we're going to hit the jog button. We're going to close this out. It's not going to totally cancel it out. It's just going to take it off our screen here. So we're going to close it. We're going to zoom out. Come into this bottom one here. Select that. We want to hit the move tab. You remember the move tab here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap cameras so you can watch the laser move. And you'll see what I'm talking. All I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that's highlighted red. And I'm going to click in the circle there. Let's go ahead and swap cameras. Alright, let's go ahead and hit the bullseye in there. And you'll see the laser head move. Alright, so laser moved close to where we need to be. But I need to hold this corner right here and then just slide this one up and get it right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my magnets and I want to hold this position right here. Now I'm going to go back in LightBurn and I want to redo the move tab to here. Make sure that this side didn't move at all when I was sliding it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the move tab. And you can watch on the laser, the honeycomb there, you'll see it move. And all I want to do is remove it back to this position. And as you can see, it was right in there. So we know we're good on both spots. And we have our red circle there. We do not have our blue circle down here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and click that move tab. And we pull you in here. I'm going to go ahead and click the move tab, and I want to move it right in the middle of this circle. We know we are lined on both of those spots. Now I need to click this circle again. I did not want to move it, so let me go ahead and get it back to that middle. Click off that move tab, highlight this circle, and now we're going to come back up here and we're going to click the print and cut. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have number 2. We're going to go ahead and hit set. As soon as I set it, you see that turn blue. Now we're just going to go ahead and hit scaled, and we know we are locked in. All we have to do is put our piece in whatever ones we're doing. I have mine in the top left. That's where it's going to be. So I have it in black, which is just going to be a line, because I don't want to take a whole lot of time doing this. This is just for demonstration, and I have it 4,100 and it's online. So it's just going to go ahead and it's going to do all this right here. And you're going to see when I pull it off and show you on the other camera, it's going to be perfect right in there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to swap cameras, but first I'm going to go ahead and start, and then I'll swap cameras, let you see that laser do its thing. So let's go ahead and swap. And all I'm going to do now is hit start, and you're going to watch that laser go to work. Should only take about 12 seconds. I'm not worrying about fine detail or anything, because this is just wood blanks that I'm using, and it's done. So what I'm going to do, get my little pokey thing out. Don't move this or this or this. You don't want to move any of these. If you move these, you're going to have to redo those whole bullseyes again. Alright, it's so tight. Let's see if I can get that to pop out. There we go. Like I said, don't move your template. don't move your honeycomb, and don't move your bed of your laser. If you move any one of those, you have to redo your print and cut coordinates for these two bullseyes. Alright, let's go ahead and swap over to here, and let's let you take a look at how it came out absolutely perfect. Like I said, I wasn't looking to get it engraved or have it look perfect, but there you have it. It is exactly inside that dog bone. That is the best way to do this. This is the only way to do this. It's the easiest way to do this. I don't have $1,500 for a machine, so I have to go this route to be able to get things to be lined up perfect and to be able to do templates of more than you know. You can do these with slate coasters, with if you're making key rings, pencils, pens, dog tags, keychains, whatever it is you're making, you can do these templates, and this is how you set these things up. Another key thing to look at here, and I almost forgot to show you, is I did this on one of my other videos. I don't know if you saw that. If you didn't, go back and look at my videos. You will see there's a lot of good stuff in it. But if you look at where'd my glasses go? Right here. If you look at your jig, what you want to do is you want to click all of this. First, let me do this. Let me get rid of this one because I don't want that to be locked in. You're going to go ahead and select all of this. Once you have it all highlighted and selected, you want to right click. You want to come down here and hit lock selected shapes. You're going to see these boxes on the corners turn into crosshairs. See how you got your crosshairs on them? What this is going to do now is if you click any of these, you can click it, but you cannot move it. They will not move. Nothing inside here will move. That's going to ensure that you don't accidentally move one of these dog tags and it's going to mess it up on you. Or you don't move your bullseye and it messes up on you. So by highlighting all of them, right click, and it says unlock now, but it would say lock selected shapes. You click on that and you're going to lock them so they cannot be moved. Of course, if you want to unlock them because you do want to move them, then you just click the unlock. But I want to make sure that these things do not move out of this position. Otherwise, I got to redo that process of lining up those bullseyes again. I do not want to have to keep doing that. I'm at a show. I'm trying to make money, and time is money. Every time I got to mess with this thing here for that, it's just going to keep messing it up. So you could have, what am I clicking on here? Click off of that. Let me lock these before I move it. Unlock. And right click, and let's go ahead and lock them. We got our bullseyes. Now you can have pet tags here. You can have pens up here. You can have keychains up here. You lock all of them so that you can just do each individual one, because they're all going to be T1 or T2 toolpaths, so you don't have to worry about anything here engraving. You've already cut them all out. You're just now just trying to make, you know, money on a show, and you're just trying to get repeatability as easy as you can. So you can go ahead and you can put a bunch of these in there, so you have a whole, you know, somebody comes in and wants keychain, you'd have it up here. They want a pen, you'd have it up here. Whatever. So you can do that too. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip that one that I just did, and we're going to flip it upside down, and we're going to put this one in place of where that one was. So let's go ahead and bring it over, select that. Let's go ahead and hit the bullseye in the middle. I don't like how it looks. It's too far on the bottom here because of this smiley face or sad face up there. So we're going to move it probably right about, I'm thinking right about there. We'll leave it right about there. Now, when we go ahead and do it, we already have our bullseyes already done. All we have to do, take this tag, flip it upside down, and engrave it. So let's go ahead and swap cameras. I'm going to see me put that back in there. All right. All right, here we go. Upside down. And it's right in that little spot. Now, for me, I have to hone my machine. I have it set to park where it's parked at, on the far end. Unfortunately, when I start my job, it is not going to come back here. I'm not sure what happened with that or why it's not. It's just easier for me to home it, and I know exactly where it knows where it's going to go. So, let me go ahead and hit home. Remember what I said. Don't move your laser. Don't move your laser module. Don't move your honeycomb. Don't move anything. Keep it all right where it is. Now, all we have to do, let me see what that's at, 10,100. I'm actually going to change all this to black. So, let me change all of that to the black layer, which is going to be the same as what the first one was, 4,100. And cross our fingers, it should work. It has been. It always usually does, but it should put that right in there where we need it to be. All I have to do, come here to laser, hit start, and you'll see it. But I'm going to swap cameras so you can watch that. All right, you on the right camera? Yes, you are. I'm just going to hit start, and it's going to start. It's got about 15 seconds left, and this will be done, and you'll see what it is. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to do this one on the opposite side, the opposite end over there. And you're going to see it's going to do exactly the same thing as it's doing right here. All right, it's finished. I'm going to go ahead and get my pointer. Let's get this bad boy out. And let me show you in the other camera. All right, there's the front side. Absolutely lined up perfect. There's the back side. Absolutely lined up perfect. You get $1,500, go ahead and get yourself one of them other machines, like the Rolly. I have $400, that's why I got this one I got. And it does, as you can see, just as good as what the stuff they have does for $1,500. You don't need to have those big expensive ones. You can do exactly what they can do with a nice, cheaper 20-watt laser. Works very well. All right, so I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and let's swap over to here. And let's take this one here, because it's already on here. We're going to select it. And which one do you want to do? Let's do this bottom one. Hit Control, highlight that bottom one, come up here, hit the center. You see it just centered it back where we don't want it to be because of that unsad looking, that little sad face there. So let's go ahead and click that, move that back to where we kind of had the other one, right about there. All right, now I'm going to move this one over to here just so we have it closer when we go to flip it. All we have to do, I have to home my machine, so I'm going to go ahead and click home. There she goes home. And once it's home, all I have to do is click start. So I'm going to go ahead and click start. I'm going to swap you over, and you can watch it do its thing. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and click start right now. And it takes about 22 seconds to do this one here, so give it a, oh, stop. Yep, stop. What did I do wrong? Yep, that's what I did wrong. Didn't put my piece of material in there. So I'm going to go ahead and home my machine again. Get my little template. And I'm going to now put the template in that bottom right corner. Alright. Here we go. Bottom right corner. Dropped it in there. Alright. Second time's the charm. Let's go ahead and click. We know we homed it. All we have to do is just click start. So I'm going to go ahead and click start, and you're going to watch it. And here we go, start. And it's got about 10 seconds left. And then we're going to flip it over. And we're going to do the front part on that. And you're going to see they come out perfect. Every single time. Alright, let's go ahead and swap. Alright, let me get my pointy thing. And let's pull this out. Like I said, keep real careful here. Don't move that. You saw me put extra pressure here because I don't want this to move. It has to stay the same. But you can see, perfect. Alright, I'm going to flop it over to the back side. I'm going to go in LightBurn. And in LightBurn, we're going to go ahead and click this one. Pull it off. Click the front. Hold control, select that one, and we're going to center that in it. And all I have to do now is home my machine again. The whole thing about parking your machine on the other end is, A, you want to be able to get your laser head and rail out of the way so you can get to your material. Plus B is, once it parks it there and you hit start, it knows exactly where to go. My machine is not going, it's not repeating back to that area. So I have to home my machine. You see me home it all the time. That's why I have to home it, is because of that. I want this to be able to go perfect, but it just does not do it. So I'm going to go ahead and swap over to the other camera. And I want you to see, all you got to do, hit start, and you'll watch this. I'm home. Let's go ahead and hit start. And it's going to take 15 seconds for this part. Now you can line up, like I said, I have this jig set for 12. You can put 12 different names in there, 12 different, when you flip it over, 12 different phone numbers. You can do that, and then you can easily create this to be able to make multiple ones. Or you can do like I'm doing, one-offs, do one at a time. I'm just doing them in the farthest corners because I want you to see that this is how you do it. It works and comes out perfect. Alright. There's the front. I hope you can see that good. And there's the back. And I'm going to swap you to the other camera. Alright. There's the front. There's the back. You cannot ask for anything more centered and more perfect than that.